Today's episode is brought to you by Hookah Place in Miami.
Yo, Dutch, you sure this thing rolling?
Bro, you gotta get back here, bro.
Oh, my bad.
God. BMZ TV, my name is Dutch. And today we have a very special guest all the way from Miami.
David. Hookah Place. And on today's episode of Hookah 101, we're going to be going over HMDs.
And as you can see, we have a bunch of HMDs here. Now, the question is, why do we need HMDs?
Well, HMDs think of them as a bit of a convenience tool. Heat management devices. That's what HMD stands for, heat management device. So it's a way of managing your heat while you're smoking your favorite flavor of hookah on your favorite bowl.
All right, so it's actually optional. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of people still use foil.
Yeah, of course, man, because in my opinion, foil is the OG HMD. Can't go wrong with a good piece of foil. But for those people that don't like to poke their holes and take their time with that, HMDs are a welcome choice for those users that like to use said products.
All right, David, so let them know a little bit about what you have in front here.
All right, so as you can see, we have a nice collection of HMDs currently. We have the Cusar Ross. It's from France. This one is pretty dope. I really like this one. We have the Flame Smoke. This is German made. Pretty handy right here. You have the Ignis Revo, new product to the market. Pretty interesting. It's basically the upgrade of your OG Ignis here. We also have another product from Flame Smoke, which is the one, we call it the one hitter, because basically all you need is one coal to get this one going. Then you have the big boy in the bunch, the Starbuzz Nar. This it's a beefy boy. Then we have the product from Apple on top. This is the Provost, bit of another OG type product here. Been around for a while. We have another product from Ottoman. This is the Carbo 1. Similar to this one coal is all you really need. Then we have some traditional / modern style HMDs. So we have the one from Turkey, super traditional. All you do is just pack your bowl, sit this on top, coals go in here. Then Mia flipped it with this one where you pack your bowl inside of this. You cover it up, put your charcoal inside. It's a bit of a modern take on an OG classic. And then the OG HMD to the market would be the Cloud Lotus, but this is the upgraded version. This is the Lotus 1 Plus.
All right, so since we have all of these and we don't want to confuse people too much, but let's put the ones on the side that you don't really use that much, and then we just focus on the ones that you use a lot.
Okay, the one I don't necessarily use often, or if at all, is the Starbuzz one. All right, it's part of the reason why it's super heavy, and your startup time is a bit cumbersome. But once you get it going, it does perform. It's just not something I'm looking forward to. I haven't got a chance to use one of these yet, but I'm interested in it. It's the Ignis Revo. The moment I get my hands on it, I will definitely do some serious testing on it. But it looks pretty dope, and from what I've heard from other consumers, they really dig it as well. Another one, I go on again, off again with it, but there's a bit of a flaw to me. It has a blacking out issue with the coals. If you're not constantly hitting it, and if you're letting it sit for too long, your coals will black out. But other than that, it performs well. But again, I don't use it that often. Another one, this one here doesn't have that same issue as the other Flame Smoke one does. One coal is literally all you need, but I tend to smoke for longer sessions. So this one, again, out of the picture. I don't own this one. This is the carbon one from Ottoman. I will be owning this one shortly. Interested in using this one. So until then, out of the picture. Now we have the one from Mia. Interesting setup. I do like using it, but your cleanup time and your setup time, setup time meaning from the time you put your coals in to the time you're able to actually smoke, is too long. And I feel like you gotta put too much coals in there just to get it going at an acceptable time. I pass on this one. Now we're down to like our final 5 here, right?
Yes.
So final 5, I use this a lot.
You do.
But there's a caveat. Like I said earlier, I smoke for long periods of time. So the majority of my bowls do not fit this piece here.
That's true.
So what I do, I use my handy dandy foil and I sit this on top. Works just fine. I use this all the time. Like that. Not with the whole setup. So as a result, to the side it goes.
That's interesting. So now we're down to 4.
So now we're down to 4. And straight up, before Cloud came out with the One Plus, this was my go-to, the Ottoman Ignis. I could put 3 huge coals in here, no problems. The setup is pretty similar to the Cloud as far as how you would pack your bowls, getting your height levels on your tobacco so that it doesn't burn or shock the tobacco when you light it up. But then Cloud came out with the One Plus. So unfortunately, to the side it goes. So now we're down to the final 3. And these 3 products, I can honestly tell you, I use these on a daily basis. These are in my rotation on all the bowls I use. I have only one of these, so I have to use this sparingly because it is a combination of glass, silicone, and metals. So I have to be careful with how I use this one. But I do use this on a daily basis. My Cloud One Plus, I use this, I have 2 of them, so they stay in rotation. The moment I'm done with one bowl with this equipped to it, pack another bowl and take my backup, put that right on top. Cloud did release the Cloud 2. We don't have that one here, so that should let you know how I feel about that one. But yeah, the Cloud 2 isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just not for me, and I will leave that at that. Now we have the Provos. I was thoroughly surprised by the Provos because I felt like if I don't have an apple on top bowl, I can't use this. I don't like using apple on top bowl. But back to your handy dandy foil. Use this. You take your favorite bowl, wrap it with foil, sit this on top, poke your holes through the mesh on the bottom. I can tell you, it smokes phenomenally. I get no burnt taste on my tobacco. I can smoke for hours and hours. Like I said, I pack for longevity. So most bowls, when I use the Cloud or using the QZR, I might smoke anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. With this setup, easily with full flavor, I can push 3 hours, sometimes 4 if I'm using darker leaf tobacco. So out of all these 3 that I use on the regular, this is my go-to because cleanup is super simple. When the coals are ashed out, dump it, pack it, keep it moving. Or just put fresh coals in there because the bowl is still good. This is my favorite, period. This combination, just like this. With foil, Provos, can't go wrong with it. Number 2, easy choice. The Cloud Lotus, either the original or the One Plus. Go with the One Plus, you will thank me later. And then we have the QZR Ross. Cool looking design, super futuristic, super modern, but it's a combination of another HMD, the Phoenix HMD, and some of you guys have probably seen that out there before, but similar design. You have the hot plate on the bottom, coals go on the side, raised surfaces on the inside. This is from France, so a lot of you guys may not have even seen this or even are aware of it. But like I said, this is from France. You have to import it. I don't know of any retailers statewide that are currently selling this, but I followed them on Instagram and I reached out to them and I was able to purchase this product. Pack your bowls inside of your glass bowl here. You can pack dark leaf, blondes, whatever. If you want to do creams, have at it. You can pretty much use whatever you want inside this bowl. Sit it on top. Be mindful of your tobacco layers. You don't want it to smother the bottom of the hot plate because your air vents, similar to how it's set up on the Cloud Lotus, are on the bottom. So you don't want to smother here, and then there's another air vent in the middle, but that's mostly for the draw going down into the bowl. Other than that, very good smoke, very good taste, long lasting. This is my number 3 HMD rather, that I use on a regular.
That's interesting. Now, if I was to go, I would actually go with this one right here. This is my number one. I started actually with this one. My second one was this one. And I've used it a lot, and you can look at my videos. You'll see a lot of videos with it, with this setup. But to me, this is my favorite. Now let's just go a little bit deeper into this HMD. As you can see, the same setup. It has these little, what do you call them, knobs, or
like you could say like knobs or raised surfaces on the inside.
And that is for
preventing your coals to black out.
All right, so they're raised so the air on the bottom can go
through the HMD. So therefore, when you are sitting it on a metal surface and it's flat, when air passes through there, because if you remember in one of our previous videos, the most important thing about hookah smoking is airflow.
Airflow.
So with these HMDs that we have up here, they promote very good airflow. By having raised surfaces on the inside, the air passes through the HMD and keeps your coals nice and hot without them blacking out and losing that heat.
Right, so what are the materials they're mostly made out of?
Aluminums, different grades of aluminums for different purposes. The one up here that we have that has probably the highest grade aluminum is the Starbuzz NAR. Now with this one, it's recommended that you preheat it. What I mean by that is, while you're cooking your coals, you set the bottom piece on the same stove or on the coals that you're currently cooking. With products like this, with the QZR Ross, the Ignis, or the Lotus, or even the Provost, I do not recommend preheating because the aluminum or the metal that they're made out of is a lower grade and it will melt. So for everybody that says preheat it, preheat your Lotus, do not do that. It even says so inside the box, okay?
And what's this thing on the top there?
It's a temperature gauge, so that way you can pretty much keep a good idea of how hot your coals are running. To me, from my limited use of it, it works. But when you're sitting back and trying to enjoy your smoke, you're not really constantly checking your thermometer gauge. So I wouldn't necessarily use it or look for a product with that in there, especially since I'm a seasoned smoker. I can tell when I'm losing heat versus when I'm at optimal heat.
So I'm gonna put the Quasar aside because these three we can definitely buy at Hookah Place, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so now we're gonna talk about another thing. What are these things on the top?
Air vents.
Yeah.
Because again, airflow is king. Super important when you're smoking hookah. The rule of thumb, when you're starting up your bowl for the first time, close your vents. That keeps the heat inside of the HMD and it builds it up so that your tobacco can start getting warm as well. Because remember, most of the time we don't store these in warm temperatures, we don't preheat these. These are, if your room is set at a temperature of 45 degrees, guess what? Guess how hot this is? 45 degrees. Can't smoke like that. So in order for it to get hot, you gotta keep the heat trapped inside. So you will close your vents.
So it'll be like an oven, right?
Exactly.
All right. So when would I open them? That's the question.
Okay. For a heat head like me, I never open my vents.
All right.
I like my bowls to smoke hot. I'm sorry for people that may be bugging out about that or calling or saying blasphemous things right now. I like to smoke my bowls hot. I'm sorry.
He does.
But you want to open your vents when your bowl is running a little bit too hot. So simple math. Open the vents. You can open it a little bit or open it a lot. At the store, we do have a lot of customers that come in and smoke with us. Even though where they're working, we do smoke our own hookahs also. So for the customers, we do one of two things. We either open the vents, take the lids off, or we take a coal out so that way the customers can smoke comfortably, because not everybody smokes how we would smoke at the shop.
So let's just open these real quick and let's talk about how many coals would fit on each.
Okay.
Would I be able to fit 3 coals on each of these easily?
Okay, so on your standard size cube coals, which are normally 25 by 25 by 25, those are standard size cubes. Most companies that you buy your coconut coals from make cube coals in that size. So you got Coca Earth, you have titaniums, you have Little Orange. Those are 25 by 25. So with these 3 products here, you can put 3 of those in there comfortably without them touching or rubbing against each other or one being raised up or anything like that. Everything fits inside of here, no problem. If you're using flats, you can probably place more in there. You can go anywhere from 4 to maybe 6, depending on how you do your arrangements.
All right. And last thing, I don't know if you noticed my little setup I put here, but basically I put them by price range. Is this
yes,
correct?
That's very correct.
All right.
So going from right to left, you have least expensive to most expensive. But that doesn't necessarily mean quality or performance wise, because at the end of the day, it all does fall down to user. Do you like using this? Yes or no. Doesn't matter if it's $30 versus $50. They're going to get the job done as long as you use them properly.
All right, so now that we have a little bit of understanding about these HMDs, how about we put them to the test?
Oh yeah. Okay, so this particular hookah, which you can find at Hookah Place as well, this is from ATH, or the good folks over at Adalia. Stainless steel construction with a crystal hand-blown glass base. Really dope, super quiet, super wide gauge, super durable, super easy to clean. Stainless steel, can't really go wrong with that. And then we both have a pair of ST bowls.
ST bowls, yes.
So we keep those in stock there at the shop. And on top of mine, I'm using the Cloud Lotus 1 Plus, and on his, he's using the Ottoman Ignis, yes, but with a cage on it called the Cloud Cage.
Yes, and now the hookah that I'm using is the Ottoman Monster. We've done a video on this, but let's just taste what you got making this. He set up the bowl, so let me get a little tasting of this.
Little custom mixes I do. Whew. And you can low-key tell the difference.
Nice.
His is rumbling, super loud, but it's smooth because of the built-in diffuser, while mine, on the other hand, whisper quiet.
So what we have in front of us here is a bowl already all set up. Yeah, packed it, and show them why you brought out this bowl.
All right, so we basically brought out this bowl to show the different sizes of bowls that can be used with HMDs, because not every HMD fits every bowl. So with a bowl like this, a Russian style bowl, you can use an HMD on top, but you will still have overflow from the side, either whether you're using the Cloud Lotus 1 Plus or the Ottoman Ignis. You will have overflow, but the most important thing that you're looking for are the contact points for the Lotus or the Ignis itself. Is that touching your tobacco? And in both cases, it does touch tobacco, so therefore you're going to get good heat distribution. Again, heat management. You're going to get good heat distribution across the entire bowl. Now, we have an assortment of bowls here. Some are made specifically for HMDs, some aren't, some you can use with one, some you cannot use with others. So we're going to show you bits and pieces or different ones that you can use and cannot use. So for starters, with the Cloud Lotus or the Ignis, you can use this bowl here, the Samsaris High Heat Bowl. This is their third version of their Samsaris bowls. These have aluminum on the inside, so you ain't got to worry about them breaking or cracking when you're going to change out the bowls. This one, just sit it right on top, fits like a glove. Same thing with the Ignis, but you know how some people say, if it says Cloud and this says Cloud, might as well just pair them both together. No muss, no fuss. Now over here, we have the Apache bowl from Alpaca. This one, you can use a HMD on this one as well, and sits right on top. Now, the thing about these particular bowls, they're handmade. So when you're going to purchase them, I don't recommend purchasing them online. If you have a way of going to a store that sells them, go there. That way you can measure your bowl, make sure you get a perfect fit.
Hookah Place, maybe.
Yeah, Hookah Place. Yeah, you're right on that one. My bad. So go in there and just measure it out, make sure that it fits. And as you can see here, everything is covered. And the same thing can be said with the Ignis. Bang. Perfect fit. Now, again, we have another bowl from Alpaca. This one is designed to be used with HMDs specifically. Can't use foil with this or any other type of HMD that you may have. You have to use something similar to these two products here. And the reason for that being, it has a lip. So most bowls that you see with a lip, all you do is just sit it right on top, similar to what you would do with the Samsaras, and you're good to go. You don't really have to worry about measuring it. As long as the lip is there, you're good to go. All right, and this is the Alpaca La Roque. Again, you can find this at Hookah Place. The next bowl we have up here would be the Hookah John Trice? Something along those lines. I don't know how to exactly pronounce it. But we do sell this at Hookah Place as well. It's a smaller bowl. This bowl is mostly designed for shorter sessions. Now the question is, can you use an HMD on it? Because it's clearly too small. You still have your contact points, but where your airflow is coming from the bottom of your HMD up into the HMD, it's way on the outside. So when you would sit this on top, it would, what I like to call, choking the bowl. So you wouldn't get good airflow through it. So your quick fix with that would be to break out your handy dandy foil, and you would use your Provost. Now, you're probably looking at this saying, well, the Provost is still spilling over. With how the Provost is set up on the inside, where your heat, your coals would normally sit, is right there over the bowl itself anyway. So this would be your perfect fit if you're using a bowl of this size or this shape.
And that's what we actually use is the Provost for that specific bowl.
Right. Now, our last bowl here that we have here, this is a Turkish style bowl.
Yeah, this is a Turkish style bowl that we actually got from Mia. Now, I've used it with this HMD. You can, because it actually works a little bit, because if you look at the inside, you still have the inside, the holes. So you still have airflow. But which HMD would you use best for that?
Bingo, bango, bongo. Your traditional Turkish style HMD. Covers the bowl itself, so you don't have to worry about spillage as far as heat is concerned. When you place your coals on top, all the heat will be concentrated where the metal tray is located. So you have no ifs, ands, you have no worries there rather. So that would be my suggestion to you, to use this setup, or you can go back with the Provost as well. But again, like I said, can't go wrong with using foil. So if you want to use an HMD, these are your options, and these are your tips and tricks that you can use to get the best possible performance out of said HMD.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick episode of Hookah 101 HMDs. And David, I want to thank you for coming by all the way from Miami.
Dog, it's been a pleasure, man. We got to do this more often. The people have been asking for it, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always enjoy doing videos with you. You're actually the first one that actually taught me a lot about hookah, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be doing these videos. So
anytime, it's always a pleasure, bro.
So if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit that like button,
subscribe,
and don't forget to hit that little bell at the top so you can get notified for any new videos coming out. This has been an episode of DMZ TV. My name is Dutch.
David, Hookah Place. You can find us at 1636 Northwest 20th Street. That's our new location. We're open 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year, holidays and everything.
We are out.
Latest.